Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to talk about good and evil in this video. Is there such a thing as good and evil? Is there a sense of morality? Is there absolute morality in this plane of existence, or is it all relative? Is it all just all morality is relative, and it's just like, oh, one man's terrorist is another man's hero? Is it all relative? Or is there a sense of like clear, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is evil, you as a human ought to do this and don't do that, and so first of all, before delving a little deeper into this, I'd like to make the case for why it's very, very important to think about this and talk about this and reflect on this, because you have to realize that as a human being, you're quite unique. You're in a unique predicament because clearly, if you look at the way like the animal kingdom behaves and you look at the way the human kingdom behaves, it's very, very obvious that humans are unique. And of course, every creature is unique, but humans are extraordinarily unique because we can, like, tell me one animal that creates art. Tell me one animal that writes philosophy books. Tell me one animal that makes music, that creates poetry. Tell me one animal that has the capacity for extreme empathy and compassion, but also extreme ruthlessness. It's like human is just unique. If you observe the animal kingdom, they all seem to be behaving relatively in a uniform way. When it's mating season, they have sex to reproduce. Otherwise, they're pretty much looking for shelter and food. Humans do that, but what happens is when humans are fulfilled, they have shelter, they have food, they begin to think, and they begin to seek purpose, and they begin to seek meaning, something that is extremely uncommon in the animal kingdom, to seek meaning, right? But you see this, like, humans seek meaning, they seek purpose. And usually you see that once the human's lower desires, lower chakra needs of security, of food, of survival are met, you begin to see this human behavior, this very complex human behavior. There's this drive to create art, create music. So humans are very unique. And we have the centerpiece of this uniqueness is the mind we have. The fact that we can think and rationalize and change our behavior, change our patterns, and make decisions and act in ways that we previously did not act upon. So humans are very unique. You have to understand this is very unique, and it's very important for us to really think about this question. How, as a human, how do I ought to act? What should I do? How should I act? How should I act around other people? And then that's, if you think about that question long enough, you think, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Am I doing a good thing here? Am I doing a bad thing? Well, now I'm going to provide you with my perspective on this, my ever-evolving perspective, my ever-evolving perspective on this. I think, my opinion is that there is an absolute moral case to be made here. I think there are certain things that are like cut and clear, absolute moralism, right? This is a good thing, this is a bad thing, and I'm going to give you an example here. Pedophilia. I think pedophilia is one of those things that is clear cut as far as I'm concerned, and I think as far as many people are concerned. It's clear cut if it's good to do or if it's bad to do, if you as a human should do this or if you as a human shouldn't do this. I think pedophilia is something that's like, it's pretty obvious. There is absolute moralism there. It is a good thing not to take advantage of a child whose brain hasn't matured, who's naive, who's vulnerable, because it's a vulnerable being. It's bad, it's evil to take advantage of that just in order to fulfill your own perverted sexual desires. Okay? So if you're a moral relative, relativist, if you are a moral relativist with everything, then you would not agree with this. You would say, no, the Greeks used to do this. They used to have young boys and have sex with them. The Romans used to have young boys and have sex with them. They say, they report feeling connection, and the children seem to be happy about it, etc. And it's all relative. It's all social conditioning anyway. We are socially conditioned. What I'm giving you here, by the way, is actually a Satanist argument for this. Okay, and it's kind of scary, because pretty soon this is going to become, hopefully not, but they have been working towards normalizing this behavior, and it's like pretty much all over Hollywood and in the music and subliminal messages. So they really want to normalize it, because it's part of the satanic doctrine. Anyway, so that's a moral relativist perspective on this. So if you're purely moral relativist, you should not really have any problem with pedophilia. Okay, so recognize that if you just think there's no good and evil, then that's something that you don't exactly have a problem with, and maybe something in you says, no, there is a problem with that. So I think inside of us there is a compass, there is a moral compass. I really think a human being has a moral compass in them, and if they really tune in, they're able to tell which is good and which is evil. Okay, and I think pedophilia, I strongly believe and strongly know that pedophilia is evil. It is wrong. It is not how a human should behave. I also think a human should not go out and kill other human beings for pleasure, or even to, even if you're poor, even if you have no money. I think it is morally wrong. It is morally evil to go out and kill your fellow human beings just so you can eat, or just so you can feed your family. Okay? Instead, what you do is you realize that there is an infinite source of energy and abundance, and if you connect to that infinite source, you will be provided for. You do not have to kill any other being for your needs to be met. Okay? So now however, I have to say, everything has to be context based also. Do we make the statement that killing is wrong? I think that it's a rule of thumb to say it's wrong to kill others, but in certain cases, in certain contexts, such as self-defense, then it is morally justified to do so. If someone is going to harm you, if someone is coming to you to kill you, and you defend yourself because someone is trying to infringe on your free will to survive and thrive, then again, it's context-based. Then, in my opinion, it is justified to kill if you are defending your own free will to survive. If someone is purposefully and deliberately intending to harm you, to kill you. So I don't think it's purely black and white, but I think we have general rules of thumb. I think when it comes to morality, the best I can tell you from my perspective, there are general rules of thumb. These are general rules of thumb, like don't kill, that's a general rule of thumb. Do not harm other beings, that's a general rule of thumb. But I'll tell you, if you've got a snake coming to you and it's poisonous, and you know it's poisonous, and it's coming after you and it wants to kill you, it's trying to, because the snake is ignorant in this case, it's ignorant of universal laws, of cosmic universal laws, do not harm others, and it's trying to kill you, it's your life. Then in this case, that general rule of thumb can be broken because you're defending your own free will, your own survival. Self-preservation is maybe, an exception to the rule of thumb of do not harm others, do not kill other beings, do not kill other humans, do not kill other animals. Okay? So I think there is an absolute moralism in the universe, but I think it's more of a general rule of thumb with context-based. Okay? And I want to draw this, let's say this thesis, and compare it to a video game. If you play a video game, let's say playing an arcade game, and you have to go through different levels, right? you get to like, let's say you go from level 1 to level 2. Like, I'm thinking of the game Crash Bandicoot, okay? I'm a 90s kid. I played Crash Bandicoot. I had PS1. It's one of my favorite games. And usually, let's say you had like in Crash 2. Okay, Crash 2 is probably my favorite one. I think it had 5 levels in it. And after you finish level 1, you have to basically play this like boss, this evil boss, and you have to defeat them. And the only way you go to level 2, the only way is you defeat the boss. You cannot pass. Thou shalt not pass. You shall not pass. Okay? Meaning if you don't defeat that evil boss in the game, you ain't going anywhere. Okay? You're stuck in level 1. And I think it's the same thing with the game of life. There are certain things, certain plateaus that we reach in which we are stuck here. Like, we're stuck. We cannot advance any further in the game. Mind you, we are inside a game. What is the game? It's very important to know. The game is consciousness separates itself into these fractured, imaginary, illusory aspects, individual selves, the illusion of self, of individual, disconnected self. And then it plays this long game in time and space to reunite with its source, with itself. That's the game, okay? And in the same way, in Crash, you have like, you go from level 1 to level 2, you gotta beat that boss. There's certain things, you're stuck. Like, you're stuck in level 1. Like, you're stuck forever in level 1 if you don't beat the evil boss. And certain things, you're just stuck. You're not gonna go anywhere. You're stuck here until you realize with your human uniqueness, your ability to rationalize and think about your own behavior and think about your own morality, you change your behavior. Let's say you're a killer and you just like stop killing people. You're like, oh man, you rationalize. One day you realize, oh my God, you're like 10 lifetimes in a row just killing people, just going to war and killing people in the name of defending, in the name of my country is more glorious than your country. Right? Let's say you participated in World War I, then you died, you came back again, you're an 18-year-old kid again, you participate in World War II. Like, that's just your karma in the name of my country's glorious. Let's say you were like a soldier in World War I. You were like, let's say you were a Russian soldier, right? And let's say you died. You said, I'm going to defend Mother Russia, and you died. You know, you just went, you killed people, right? You killed people. You had no good reason to do so. Now, I know there's an argument there. I'm defending my country, right? Again, we talked about this, but maybe a better example for this would be, I think that's still a good example, right? Like, you're just mindlessly going to war to kill people, and then you die, and then you reincarnate as a Nazi, and then you go into like Poland, and you just kill like a bunch of people, and you're like mean to them, and you're rude. You're just doing it because of like a belief system. My country is more superior than your country, right? And of course, the same case can be made for if your country is being invaded, you're defending yourself, okay? So if you're the aggressor, right? If you're the aggressor, like if you're the Nazi in World War II and you just went into Poland and you started killing people and treating them like crap, you're the aggressor here. It's different if you're defending yourself and your country has been invaded and you're just defending your family, you're defending your neighborhood, okay? See, in the same example, you can see the two different perspectives here. But let's say you're the aggressor. Let's say you were a soldier in World War I. You were in the aggressor side. You invaded someone else's house, someone else's home. Maybe you raped someone's wife and you were just the aggressor, okay? Let's say you died in that war, but your karma took you back again, and here you are reincarnated as a Nazi in World War II, and you're the aggressor yet again. See, then you die again, then maybe you're reincarnated in, I don't know, as an American soldier in the Iraq war, and you're the aggressor. You're just killing, you're going there, okay? You see, one day, one life, you realize, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. And you begin to realize, like, I don't want, you start to repent, okay? You repent, that's what repentance is. And you just feel horrible. And you feel like, wow, I don't want to do this anymore. And you almost, right there and then, break that karmic cycle. You defeat that evil boss, and now you're ready to go to level 2. So this is what I mean by, there is a moral compass. There is a sense of morality. Thou shalt not infringe on other people's free will. I think that's a pretty standard universal law. Do not infringe on other people's free will. Do not be the aggressor. Do not kill others from an act of aggression. Do not rape others from an act of aggression. Do not steal from others in an act of aggression. Do not do these things. There's something for the Ten Commandments, you know, it's like don't do that. But the Ten Commandments don't make it clear that there's context space and then some, you know, etc., etc. But do not be the aggressor. And when you realize that, whoa, that lifetime that you realize that, you're liberating yourself. Okay? Now you're like, whoa. Now you're defeating the evil boss. Because you realize there is a way to be good and there is a way to be evil. And as long as you're acting in the side of bad, in the side of evil, you ain't gonna make it. Like you're stuck. You're stuck. You're stuck. You're stuck. So if you're someone reincarnating again and again and just, you know, taking advantage of children, molesting children, until that one lifetime you realize, wow, I'm taking advantage of vulnerable beings here. I am for my own sense of pleasure, for my own desire, my own selfish desire. Right there and then you're beginning to beat the evil boss. And there may be some karma for you to, you know, to reap from all the lifetimes that you have been doing the wrongdoing. However, because you realize with your unique human mind, with your unique sense of morality as a human, I cannot do this anymore. You're now ready to level up. Now you defeat the evil boss. Now you go to level 2. And eventually, as you evolve and evolve, you realize, as consciousness, all beings are part of me. Therefore, how can I harm others because I'm harming myself? Therefore, there is a sense of morality. You see, when you really logically connect all the dots, there is a sense of morality then here. There is a good and there is an evil. Unless you're in an act of total self-defense and self-preservation, you should not kill others. You should not kill others. That's like a moral law. It's a commandment. It's a commandment. It is a moral law. Now, there is sort of another perspective. You may even call it a higher perspective, which is everyone is God. God is playing a game with itself. Therefore, from the ultimate cosmic perspective, God loves all. Nothing really is wrong. It's all part of the way God plays the game to return to itself, to unite with itself. Therefore, ultimately, like, if you don't beat the boss in go from level 1 to level 2 in Crash Bandicoot, let's say, God still loves you. You'll be okay. You're loved. You're God. You're part of God. You're the child of God. And God doesn't see you as wrong, as evil, for not being able to beat the evil boss, you see? So, like, there is that perspective, of course. But that perspective is helpful to, like, sort of take everyone as part of you, as God, as another God being, no matter where they are in life and no matter what they're doing, even if they're doing evil things. But it's not very helpful for you to actually play the game and level up, you see? So it's helpful in as far as accepting all manifestations of God, the evil ones and the good ones, but it's not very helpful for your own evolution. So the helpful perspective for your own evolution is, yes, I ought to do good here. I'm going to do good things here. I'm not going to kill others. I'm not going to be aggressive towards others. I'm not going to steal from others. I'm not going to rape others. I'm not going to take over their land by force. And that is the perspective that's going to be helpful towards your own evolution in the game, in the illusion, in the Maya. You see? So while you're in this illusion, while you're in this Maya, it is my strong opinion that you ought to seriously think about your actions and categorize them as good or bad and align yourself with the side of good. Because it's going to help you evolve. It's going to help you beat that boss and go to level 2 and beat the other boss in level 2 and go to level 3 and so on and so forth. While simultaneously keeping that grandiose perspective that it's like it's just God playing with God. We're all children of God. We are God beings in our essence. And all these evil people and all these, you know, Billy Boy and all these people trying to poison humanity are just going through their own cycle, and eventually all shall return to God. All shall return to the source. all shall realize in one lifetime or another, that they really have been wrongdoing others, because all beings are part of you. They're all your brothers and sisters. They are you. And keeping that grandiose perspective is very good, because it makes you more accepting and open to all, and just kind of accepting the manifestations. Like, you accept, oh, this is the Kali Yuga, this is why there's so much evil and so much evil people poisoning humans from birth, etc., etc. But you don't hate those people. You just see that they're on their own journey, and you still know that there is a sense of morality in the game, in the illusion of Maya, of good and evil, and you align yourself with good. You align yourself with good. Because I'll tell you, if you're a moral relativist, then you have no problem with pedophilia. You have no problem with me going into your house and just killing you and raping your wife. If you're a moral relativist, because I say, well, it's for my own pleasure. Or, I can make up just some story to justify that. I just really like your wife. Oh, you go into someone's house. Oh, I really like your couch. So here, put a bullet in your head. I'm gonna take this beautiful couch of yours because I really like it. Because you know what? There is no good and evil here. There's no God. That's what you get into atheism, right? There is nothing here. We're here by accident. We're the result of the Big Bang. So you know what? It's all relative anyway. So I might as well just do things for my own pleasure here. You see, it's tricky. It's tricky to be a moral relativist. Really, it doesn't make sense. Logically speaking, it doesn't make sense. Okay? So, of course, I just used examples here. I could talk about many other examples. There is a good way and a bad way of eating also. There is like, if you started feeding cows meat, you just killed other deers and other meats and started feeding them, it's going to fuck up their health. That is bad. It is bad for the cow to eat those foods, and it's going to be stuck at a level. It's not going to be that evil boss and go to the other level, because it's going to be sick all the time. It's got to eat grass. That's what its machinery is designed for. So there actually is pretty much a good and evil for a lot of things. Like, even there's a good and bad for eating. Even there's a good way to eat and there's a bad way to eat. Okay, does that mean we go on judging people for eating McDonald's or this or that? No. But it is bad to eat those things because your health, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be in pain. You're going to be sick. You're going to be in the hospital. You're going to have brain fog. You're not going to be thinking clear. So it is bad. It is bad to eat junk food. Okay, but that's where that grandiose perspective comes in, that acceptance and compassion to all beings. You say, oh, that being is on their journey. They're stuck right now. They're not aware. They're ignorant, but they are part of me, and I accept what they're doing. And I accept it is what it is. They are doing this to themselves. They're harming themselves. I pray for them. One day they will eat in a good way. Okay, so the further you dig into this, you realize there's actually it's a clear and defined sense of morality in the universe. There is a moral compass. There is good, there is bad. It's pretty well defined, actually. The more you logically think about it and connect the dots, it's pretty well defined. Just with context-based, right? Again, self-defense. If someone walks in right now with me with a gun, points it at me, says, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you, right? And somehow I'm able to and he starts shooting at me, and somehow I'm able to evade the bullet. Okay, and then let's say I pull a knife. Let's say I have a knife, and I pull a knife, and I somehow go to them, and I escape their bullets, and I just, I kill them. I just slit their throat. There's that context, self-preservation. It's self-defense. I did not try to infringe on that being's free will. Instead, he tried to do it for me, but he's in the wrong. You see, he's in the wrong because he's trying to infringe on my free will. I'm just here. I'm being peaceful. I'm not attacking him. I'm not harming him. I'm not harming anyone. So it's bad for him to kill me, but in my case, it's not good. It's just neutral. It's just neutral at this point. It's not good. It's just it's neutral. It's neutral. I'm self-preservation. I don't incur bad karma for killing that being. I'm just self-preserving myself here. Okay? And I think, one big part of this sense of morality, this clear and cut, do not harm others, do not infringe on others, do not be the aggressor. I think that's pretty clear and cut. Do not be the aggressor. So yeah, I just wanted to share these thoughts with you guys. I would like to hear maybe your thoughts in the comments. And that's about it. If you would like to donate to this channel, if you have a couple of $1 million sitting around, I will happily and gladly accept your good deeds. And also I run consultations. If you would like to book a consultations, the links for both donations, consultations in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video.